Hi crafters, welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and so happy that you're with us today. Maudie and I go on this crafting journey together and we upload 2 videos every week for some inspiration for you. And also make sure you check us out on social media, Pinterest and Instagram, because we upload every day on Instagram. Today we're going to create a twist pop-up card. Now, this is such a quick card and you really only need to learn one technique because it's Technique Tuesday. So let's head down to the crafting table and let me show you this card. Here is our twist pop-up. Oh, look how beautiful this is decorated. And then you open it up and it twists out. And really, this is simply a top fold card that has a mechanism glued down on the inside of it. So let's get busy and make this card. Now, I want to remind you that all the measurements will be listed over on creativemomentsbyg.com, so you can head over there and click on my blog. But the first thing we want to do is cut a top fold card. So let's go ahead and score a regular piece of cardstock at the 5.5 mark. And this is on the long side. Now turn it to the short side and you can cut at 4 1/4. That is a great tip for cutting 2 top fold cards. So we're just going to go ahead and fold this. Going to crease it with our bone folder and put that one to the side. We have that one to use later on. And we are going to go ahead and get the front of this laid down with some DSP. Now look at this beautiful paper that I selected. Remember, all the supplies will be listed below this video, so you'll have links to those. Now, we know that we need to cut this at 4 because we want it to be a first mat by 5 1/4. So let's just get that cut. Also on the inside, we need a 4 by 5 1/4 too. So we have those cut. Let's go ahead and get those laid down. Now I want to remind you to stay with us till the end because I have another card to show you that is your twist and pop up card. So now we have just our regular top fold card. Let's go ahead and stamp a little bit our message and our decorations that we want to use on the front of our card. Now we're going to use textured floral and we are also using handmade hugs. Now this set comes with a really pretty punch. The colors we're going to use are Gorgeous Grape. We're going to stamp our sentiments in Night of Navy. But let's go ahead and stamp some of our flowers. And now we're going to bring in Old Olive for our leaves. Okay, so we have our stamping for the front of our card completed. Now let's go ahead and get these cut out. Now we do have some images already cut out. We used that same stamp set and we cut out these beautiful flowers using Melon Mambo and we cut out some additional leaves. But let's just put those to the side right now. Let's go ahead and fix our inside mechanism. You're going to need some of your cardstock color. And we are going to open up our arm on our trimmer and cut this down to 10 inches. Then we're going to cut 2 strips at 2 inches. So you need 2 strips at 2 by 10. So let's get those cut. And now we are going to close this arm, and we're going to put this on the short side to create our mechanism. And we are going to put it at 1 inch and score it. And then we are going to put it long ways, and we're going to score it at 5 because we're going to score it in half. Now let's just go ahead and put this crease in. You can use your nails or you can use your bone folder. Get that creased. And how do we make this mechanism so that our sentiments or our images will pop out once we open the card? Well, this 1 inch line right here, we are going to fold this up. So we're just going to take it like this, fold it up, and fold it to this 1 inch line. So make sure that it matches up. And before you crease it all the way, let's flip it to the other side to make sure that this matches. We're just matching up the 1 inch line. And see how this forms a right angle? So that's our first one. We simply folded it this way. Now we're going to take this side and do the same thing. We're going to match up this 1 inch to this one, creating a right angle. So we're going to line those 1 inch lines up. And before you crease it all the way, go ahead and flip it over and make sure that this is also lined up. And now we're ready to crease. So you are simply creating right angles. Lay this down, take your right side up, and you are matching up this where you scored it 1 inch to 1 inch. And then you're doing the same thing to the other side, always creating this right angle. So go ahead and put your fingers right here. You might need to help it the first time a little bit. And bring it down just like this. Go ahead and give it a good crease. Fold it over on the other side and give it a good crease. And that's your mechanism. The key to folding this comes towards you. Put your fingers right here and just bring it in. And it very naturally wants to fold like this. And that's your mechanism. Now, with this other 2 by 10 inch strip, you can bring in your trimmer, but since our trimmer is already put up, the easy way to do it is fold it in half, bring in your bone folder, open it up, and now fold that in half, right to that score line. Go ahead and crease it, and do the same thing. Yes, you can, and we will have the measurements for you on my blog. Go ahead and use your trimmer, but you can very quickly just fold it in force, just like this. Now, let's go ahead and start putting this together. So we have our card right here. Now we need to know what the distance is right here. Where is the middle point? And we know this is 4 1/4, so we're just going to put a little tick mark at 2 1/8. And that way we get it right in the middle. Now we're just going to add this point right to the score line, and we're going to add some glue right here. We're just going to fold it over. And now we're going to flip it over, open up the back side, and we're going to add a little bit of glue on the back side, just on that little bitty triangle. and we're going to fold it over. Now, you could set something on this so that it can really adhere to the card, because you want to make sure that it does. So I'm just going to go ahead and set something on it and let that dry. And I'm going to start cutting our little mats that we need for this. Now, if you were to use a white strip, you could stamp right on this. But I decided to use the color cardstock that we used for our card. So I'll need to go ahead and cut out little rectangles that match this. 2 1/4 by 1 3/4. So let's go ahead and cut a strip. 2 1/4. By 1 3/4, and we will need 4 of these. Now, I am going to stamp my sentiments right on these mats. I want 2 sentiments. So we're going to go ahead and bring in our blue. I'm going to stamp it. I'm going to stamp another one, thinking of you. Now, we have another video that we did creating this card 2 years ago. So I'm going to put that link below the video, and that way you can get inspiration for additional cards that you can create. Now I'm going to put a frame around it. So I'm just going to lay down a piece of paper because it will be stamping off. This frame is a little too big. Just gives it some pretty scrolls around it. Let's bring this one in. And now we're going to decorate these with our flowers that we have. So let's go ahead and bring in our purple, and let's stamp a couple flowers. Let's bring in our leaves using our old olive. And now let's lay them down. Let's go ahead and put our sentiment right there. Now you can also build up this. You could bring in, if you watch our other video, you'll see where we've added some layers. But the more layers you keep adding, of course, it's going to be more expensive to send this in the mail. And this is the way it's going to bend when you put it inside your card. So let's go ahead and look at our card. Okay, so this is the way it opens. Now, the way we glue this down is we just line it up right here. And what's so unique about this is that you only glue half of this rectangle right here at the top. So on the right hand side, you're going to glue the top half of this rectangle, and on the left hand side, you're going to glue the bottom half of this rectangle. So let's just go ahead and do that. Remember, just the top part. And over here, just the bottom part. So we have our glue. We're going to match this up, lay it down, and just press. And that's all you have to remember. The bottom left half and the top right half. Now, the first time you close this, you may need to help it just a little bit because it needs to fold just like this. It kind of does it naturally, but you just may need to do it very slowly. And now we're going to decorate the front of it. We have this already stamped. We're going to go ahead and put it on dimensionals because we want to slip some flowers underneath it and some leaves. And so let's just put the dimensionals right in the center. Let's pop it down. We're going to bring in all our images that we have. Look how pretty that one is. Love this. So we're just going to add a little bit of glue, leaving the edges free of glue. Now we'll add a few flowers. And just have fun with it. Decorate it as much or as little as you want. Now let's add some leaves right here. And let's see if we want to add a little flower down here. I think so. So let's look at this card again. Look at how we decorated the front. And like I said, you can decorate it as much or as little. And then you open it up. And look at that. So pretty. And like I said, we just stamped these on. You can certainly add images to the top of it, but just remember when you mail it, it's going to cost a little more. So let's close this one. Now I showed you this one. You open it up. Once again, we stamped here, we shaded, but we also added some additional DSP. Now remember, the tip on this is when you add this second strip 2x10, you only glue half of this rectangle on the right-hand side, the top right, and the bottom left. Only half of it. That's what allows it to twist and pop. And finally, had to bring in our beautiful apples. Love this stamp set. It comes with all those flowers. Love the colors. You open it up and we just stamped sentiments and the apples. Well, take a moment and leave a comment. Which of these are your favorites? I personally think I like this because I love those apples. I love the way you can shade the apples. We use dark and light. Cherry cobbler really adds to the dimension. But let us know which is your favorite. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us on Technique Tuesday. We hope you were inspired. And if you were, take a moment, subscribe, like, and share. We'll go out, make it a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.